friends, it's Liz from Eating Vegan Simplified. Today, what I'm going to be making is something that allows me to use up veggies that I either have in the house or that my husband grew in the backyard, and I'm trying to figure out a dish. So I made something up, and I hope you like it. I think it's going to be good. So it's going to be a pesto sauce with a bunch of veggies and some pasta. So I went ahead and cooked 1 pound of whole wheat pasta. That's the kind I like. This is already done and hot right now. And I'm going to go ahead and make the pesto sauce. Now, my husband grows this. This is 2 cups of basil, but if you don't have a husband that grows this or you don't grow it, just go ahead and go buy some at the store, okay? And so that's the main ingredient, is that. Then I took 3 tablespoons of pine nuts, and I toasted them in a pan for just a minute or 2, and just got them a little bit brown. I don't know if you could see that. Anyway, that's what is going in here. So I'm going to, usually pesto has oil, but I'm making it without oil, okay? Here's some garlic, that 3 tablespoon-ish of minced garlic. This is 1 pretty large lemon. If you have tiny lemons, then I guess use 2. It probably comes out to maybe a couple of tablespoons. And then I took the zest off of the lemon, so that's what that was. This is 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, okay? So there we go. All right, so I also have some water, and I'm going to kind of just see what I need. And I also have some broth. So this would be 3 tablespoons of broth. If you're somebody who's eating oil these days, then substitute that with oil. I'm trying to avoid it, so I'm using broth and water. So anyway, so very important that you plug in. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to pour in the broth. And a little bit of water. You could always add more, but you can't take it away, right? So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I think you could use a little more water. Let me get something to scrape down. Give me a second. I'm just going to scrape down a little bit. I'll probably use just a little bit more liquid to make it a little more pourable, but you don't really know until you do it. So that's why just put in a little bit at a time. And then if you need more, you can always add more. So here we go. Better. Okay, so the sauce is done. Okay, let me tell you what else is going on. Besides cooking the pasta already, because I don't think you'd want to watch a video of me just cooking pasta, because that would be not too interesting. I went ahead and also, you can kind of come over here, camera guy, and I did delicata squash, and I did zucchini that I, look in here, okay? All right, nobody cares what I look like. All right, delicata squash and zucchini, and I cut that up in my chopper thingy. I'll show that to you in a minute, because if you see how uniformly it is chopped, that's not me, that's the chopper thingy. And I put it in the oven, in a 350 oven for 20 minutes. So that's what I did. So that's cooked and ready to go. But what I'm going to do in here, this is just a pan. I also cut up some mushrooms. So listen, you could use these veggies, you could use whatever you want, because you don't have to use this exact thing. You just use what you like, right? But I happen to like mushroom. Maybe you like bell pepper, or maybe you like something, I don't know, broccoli or whatever you like. I cut up some tomatoes and some corn, okay? And so I'm putting all this in. And I'm using these green onions. Why? Because my husband just brought them in from the yard. So I cut them up and I'm using them. And instead of oil, hang on, just stay right there for a second. I'm going to grab my little stick thing. Look how pretty that, look at the colors. Isn't that so pretty? And I'm going to add a little bit of broth. This is just vegetable broth. That's all that is, okay? Because I don't want things to stick. And again, if you're using oil, go ahead and do that, but I'm trying not to. But these are beautiful colors, and this is going to look really pretty with the pasta. So I'm just going to let this cook down. I'm going to put it on kind of a high heat so it cooks quicker. And these is just, like I said, I happen to have frozen corn. I usually like to use, you know, corn, but this is, you know, frozen corn. So I think that that's, you know, pretty much a better way for me, because it was easy and I didn't have any other corn. And then I cut up tomatoes. And so you could cut up tomatoes, you could use cherry tomatoes, and cherry tomatoes you would cut them in half. So this won't take very long to cook. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper, just because. But it's a super forgiving recipe, so if you're looking to use stuff up, and sometimes I am, because sometimes I just have a lot of veggies and I think, what am I going to do with all this, and I don't want to waste anything, so I just make a recipe where I could use every single one of them, you know? So that's what I try to do. So, all right, so this is still going. And then once this is kind of more cooked, which might take a few more minutes, then I will add the zucchini and the squash. So I'm going to talk for a second about delicata squash. If you haven't seen this squash, I'm going to get one and show you what it looks like. Okay, just hang out here, cameraman, for a second. Let me just kind of grab one so you can see what it looks like. Look, it looks like this. So yeah, here's delicata squash right here, and this is seasonal. You can't get it all the time, you know. And so if you see this in the store, you might want to try it. The taste is really, really good, you know. I mean, I like other squash, but I have a cousin who once turned me on to this, maybe last year, and I was like, it was so good, so I really liked it. So if you get an opportunity to get that, so I peeled it. You know, it's not the easiest, like any squash to cut is usually not too easy, but anyway, wasn't incredibly hard. So, you know, I think most of cooking is cutting up, right? Which brings me, oh, this is a perfect time for me to show you the cutter. Let me just go grab it really quick, the chopper thing that I was talking about. So, this is it. I got, hang on, let me show it to you really quick. So this is the thing that it goes in. So this is how I cut up all of these veggies, because it's really kind of, you see here, like it's in the sink that I'm going to use. I was just using it. But here it is. So this just kind of goes on top. I've used it in a couple of other videos. And then like this, and then you put like and there's a smaller one too, if you want it to be smaller than this size. So there's a small grated one too. But I use this size for the zucchini and the delicata squash. And then you just do this, and it falls into this deal right here. And it's just super easy. So anyway, because, like I said, cutting is the main thing that takes a pretty long time when you're cooking. So if you cut that, not only is it quick, but it makes it all really uniform, so you look like, you know, an expert knife person. So if that's what you're looking to do. So this is getting soft and it's getting good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add this, even though it's already cooked. I'm going to add it in here just so it's all in one place. And maybe I'll add a little bit of pepper. And this dish is pretty much almost done. Okay, so I got a little bit behind in videos, guys, because it was Thanksgiving and I was busy and I had family over and I cooked a lot, and I said I was going to, I told myself, not anybody else, but I told myself that I was going to film what I was cooking, and it was just too crazy. I couldn't do it. Okay, here we go. So let me just grab this bowl. All right, let me show you what we're going to do. This is how we're going to finish it off right here. Move everything aside. Use the cutter thingy. So here's the pasta. I'm going to put the pasta in. Maybe I don't want all of it. I'll put a bunch of it in. I could always add more. Like I say, you could always add more of something if you want it. But I'll just put a little bit in. And here is some veg. So I'll take some of this and I'll use this thing so I can get a lot more. So this is a really simple, nice meal that's pretty versatile. You'll be able to use up vegetables that you have. Let me grab my sauce. see what you're going to want the sauce to be pourable because you're going to want to pour it in here. So there you go. You don't want it to be, at least for me, I don't want it to be too watery, but I could just, once you mix it around, I mean, if you want it to be a little more pourable than that, you could add more liquid, either water or broth, or additional broth. Smells good. He made the yummy. See? Cameraman, aka my husband, thinks it smells good. This is actually something you've liked in the past. I don't know if you remember it. Oh, okay, he remembers. Yeah. So, he's my official taster and eater. Every cook needs an eater. So, so there it is. And let's put some in a bowl and make a dish. We can make it look pretty. So, here we go. All the toppings are kind of at the bottom, so let me get some of those out here. But you kind of see. And so if you subscribe, you will not miss recipes that we have every single week. Let me just take them out of here and make it easy on myself a little bit. That looks pretty on top. Maybe you should put the sauce on and then put that on top so it looks prettier. Not, you know, you might not care, but sometimes I care about how pretty it looks. And there is some parsley. So there you go. This is what it looks like. All right. And so I am going to put the recipe right underneath the video, so you could check it out and see all the measurements and whatever that I use. But again, use, you know, any vegetables you might have in the house. And don't forget to subscribe, which is also right underneath. You're going to see a little like pointy arrow like that. Click on that. That's where you'll see the recipe, and the subscribe button will be right under the video as well. And so I hope you try it and like it. Let me know how you like it, okay? And happy cooking, everyone.